I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm sick and tired of performing. Tired of performing for family. Tired of performing for friends. Tired of performing for society. Tired of performing for love. Most of us go through life and we put on a mask, right? Every person that we come across, or every person in our lives, or every person that we meet, we put on a different mask and we perform. We perform in the hopes that they will somehow accept us. We perform in the hopes that somehow they will validate or love us, right? And so for the most part, we never truly can be our authentic self when we're around these people. We can never truly be ourselves because we're stuck in the mindset of performing for their love and validation. And it gets to a point in which it becomes tiring. If you always have to act, if you always have to perform, it gets to a point in which it becomes draining, to say the least. And the more I live life, the more I realize that it really is okay to just be you. It's okay to just be your authentic self, to present your authentic self to the world and to everyone. See, here's the thing. It's better to be alone and be in solitude than to be surrounded by people who you can't even be yourself with. It's better to be in your own company than to be in the company of others in which you have to perform for them to like you and for them to accept you, right? In which you have to perform for their love. The moment you begin to perform for love, or the moment you believe that you have to perform for love, or the moment the people around you, the only reason that they love or accept you is because you're performing. The moment that becomes that, then it's not truly love at all. Because real love is the ability to see a person for who they truly are. Real love is the ability to accept a person for who they really are without the need to change them, without the need to judgment. Love is sensitivity to the person that is in front of you. So if the people around you cannot see you for who you are, right? If they cannot accept you for your authentic self, then you're not surrounded by people who actually love you, right? You're surrounded by people who, they sort of fake love you. They love you under the condition that you put on the act and you play a role that you believe is acceptable in their eyes, right? A lot of us really fear being alone. We fear being in the company of ourselves. Because the moment we're alone is a moment we sort of have to face ourselves. We sort of have to face the things that we've been running away from, or the things that we've been avoiding. All the pain that exists within us, all the mental scars, all the traumas, all the things from our past, we have to face those things, because when you're alone, you have no choice. And so we run away from being alone and we try to escape into the arms of people who we believe that they will accept us if we put up a mask or we put up a performance, right? But being alone and being in your own solitude is powerful. I've always said that I reconnected with who I truly was through solitude, right? Because I spent a lot of time in my own solitude. And so I had to face some of the things that were really holding me back. I had to break through from the illusions of some of the things that I believe were true about me, right? The negative self-beliefs, the negative self-image, the negative thoughts. All those things are things that I had to face, right? But solitude taught me that there was truly nothing really wrong with me at all. And the reality is that there's nothing really wrong with us at all. All of us, we have our imperfections, we have our flaws, we have things that, we don't necessarily like about ourselves, to be honest. But at the end of the day, these things are illusions. And we are perfectly imperfect. We are as we are. But a lot of us try to hide ourselves, our true selves, because we believe that our true selves are not enough. Right? But the reality is that you are enough. The reality is that the true you is perfectly fine. The only thing that is wrong with you is that you believe something is wrong with you. And that might sound paradoxical, but it's true. The only reason why you're afraid of being yourself around people is because you believe deep down that something is wrong with you. And so you hide your true self away from people and away from the world. But a life that is meaningful, right? A life that is worth living is a life in which you show up every single day as the real you, as the authentic you. The only life that is worth living is if you're able to love the person that is in the mirror. If you're able to wholeheartedly love who you are, regardless of what other people or what the world might think of you. The only life worth living is a life in which you can go out into the world and you can say, this is me, and you accept yourself fully, no matter what it is or no matter what other people think of you. That is the only life worth living. If you always have to hide yourself and if you always have to perform, then you're living a meaningless life. You're living a life that is no life at all. Right? So you have to come to a realization that it really is okay to just be you. If you have things about you that you think, are weird, that's okay. If you're a person like me who walks and you ponder to yourself and you speak to yourself, that's okay as well. Sometimes I know people are looking at me crazy when I walk and I ponder to myself and I'm fully diverged in a dialogue with myself. I know people might look at me funny, but I've come to realization that that's me as well. That's a part of who I am. That's something that I love to do. And I've begun to embrace the parts of me that I would previously hide from the world. And when you begin to do that, you begin to realize how freeing that is. How freeing it is to get up in the morning and you don't have to put on that mask. How freeing it is to go to the world and you wholeheartedly love and accept yourself. And the first step in loving and accepting yourself is really to be yourself. To show up as you are to the world and to people. Some people might not accept you. Some people might not like you. Some people might not love you. And that's okay. You're really not looking for everyone to love and for everyone to accept you. That's not what life is about. Life is about being your best self. And through being your best self and showing up as your authentic self, the people that are meant for you will automatically gravitate to you and they will be for you. And that goes for all areas of your life, right? That goes for the right family, the right friends, the right romantic partner, That goes for everything. You know, even as it pertains to a romantic relationship, right? If you was to really observe how some people show up in their relationships, you realize that most of them are really pretending. Very few people really show up to a person that they're trying to get involved with romantically as their true self. Many of them wear a mask, right? But the mask can only be worn for so long. And as soon as the mask begins to crack, as soon as things begin to progress and the person begins to see the real you, in that moment the relationship begins to deteriorate, right? Things in the relationship begin to fall apart, and that's because you didn't show up as your authentic self. You showed up wearing a mask. And so to really find the people that are meant for you, to find the people that are meant to be in your life, you have to show up as you. You have to show up as your best self, as your authentic self. No matter what it is, you have to show up as you. And sure, they might reject you. Sure, they might tell you no. But at the end of the day, you've accepted yourself. You've told yourself yes, and that is all that matters. And the reality is that you might have to get to 10, 15, 20, 100 people who don't like you as you truly are. But I promise, right? If you continue to show up as yourself, the people that are meant for you will be for you. The people that are meant to be in your life will find you. Your tribe will find you. So you don't have to pretend. Right? And so I say all this to say, one of the reasons why we're here in this life, one of the reasons why we come into this world is to show up as our authentic self and give ourselves to the world. Give our gifts to the world. Give our talents to the world. Present ourselves to the world, right? Because believe it or not, there's someone out there that is looking for someone just like you. There's someone out there that is really, it really is a reflection of who you are, right? There is someone searching for a person just like you. And on that same token, you're searching for that person as well. But you will never be able to cross paths with that person and really build a meaningful relationship, whether it's a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship, whatever it is. You won't be able to really connect with that person if you're busy being someone else. So the best thing you can do in this life is to show up as your best self, as the real you. And you have to realize that it's perfectly fine to just be you. It's perfectly fine to be your true self. Don't perform for the world. Don't perform for love, right? Real love will find you when you are your best self. True love will find you, and you won't have to perform for it. You don't have to change who you are for it. So embrace who you truly are. Walk in your light. Walk the path that is meant to be walked by you. And by doing so, all things that you desire, all things that your soul desires, right? Whatever it is, even if it's a romantic connection, everything that your soul desires will be for you. And you won't have to perform to get it. So thank you guys for watching. Peace and blessings.